Hello everybody and welcome back to Analog Vernacular. Today we're going to be playing some more Rogue Trader and we are in the Spire now. Is that what they call it? Yep, Outer Spire Halls. Okay, so at this point, I guess we just move forward.
I always keep my options open.
Just gonna move forward and see what happens. Okay, pilot. Cautious pilot. The two pilots are already disarmed and shackled. They give you a haunted look as you approach them, but do not dare to say anything. You take a glance at the Xenos boat. Sure, its design and certain parts appear bizarre, but you can still guess their purpose. You could probably steer it. I can steer a gondola, and Ellentalk. We do not need these pilots, okay? Alright, well, if Owlcat can do this, then we can just take these guys out. You are surplus to the requirements. No, wait, we were cooperating. I love how I didn't even talk to him. I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna take your loot, which is basically just junk, and I'm gonna sell it later. The disrespect is real. The Reaving Tempest Spire.
Keep your wits about you.
The dim light sources of Koronus glow like swamp lights, making you dizzy and nauseous.
I always have a backup plan.
Okay, Marajai is here. The gargantuan spire is too large to see in its entirety. Its true proportions are shrouded in shadows, and you feel as if those shadows try to envelop and swallow you whenever you look away. The colors here. They are especially dark and dangerous. It is as if I am drowning in a bottomless ocean of billowing haze. But what is it? I feel a faint tremor coming from deep inside the spire, like the call of the Imperium, except much purer. The Spire of the Reaving Tempest. The seat of my cabal, both a place to find respite from the scheming of our enemies, and a deadly trap for those too weak and soft for our ranks. Marajai tilts his head and glances at you. The heart of the spire contains a secret, an ancient webway gate that has remained sealed for many, many eons. Yamaris kept it in case Vect's noose happened to tighten around the cabal's neck. No one save for her and a certain other cabalite know where exactly in real space the gate leads. A perfect escape route. And I can open it for you. Okay. Now the thing is that Owlcat has said that she can open these gates too, but I think for now, until we get out of here, I think we're gonna go along with Marajai, so. How do you know how to unseal the gate? I find such deep trust between two Drakari too good to be true. Trust? How unreliable. No, I simply abducted and tortured the Cavalite who was privy to the secret. There is even a chance that Yamaris believed the story about the pathetic weakling running off. Okay, let's get out of this hole. Marajai grips his weapon. You cannot wait to leave Kamara, and I cannot wait to pay my sister a visit. Rest assured, she is somewhere nearby. Okay. Oh, that requires him, huh? Huh. Marajai stopped searching for the right word. A desire. Before we leave the spire, there was something I want to pick up, something memorable. I left it in the Cabal's abode. I do not want it to fall into the hands of others when carrion eaters and looters flood the spire after we are gone. There could be something in it for you. He lets the last words hang in the air. Okay, where's this property of yours? Of course. First, we need to find my raider, most likely at the end of the dock outside the spire. Let's go to the end of this terrace before we enter the spire. Is his raider a person, or is it like a ship? Elentok. Yrlia touches the glowing stone in her chest and turns her aching gaze to the spire. Her face is burdened with a strange expression, as if a roaring torrent of sadness, fear, and rage is about to erupt. My kin from Crudarach are still there. I can sense it, as I can sense the flames of their souls inexorably going out. Fury and fear are devouring me from the inside out, and I do not know what frightens me more. The grim answers that hide behind the spire's walls, or the scars that my heart will bear once I discover them. Yet I must learn the truth about my world. Perhaps this is the day the outcast finds her path again. Fury and fear are devouring me from the inside out, and I do not know what frightens me more, the grim answers that hide behind the spire's walls or the scars that my heart will bear once I discover them. Yet I must learn the truth about my world. Perhaps this is the day the outcast finds her path again. Okay? Come along. When we find the Farseers, you will have all your answers. You speak the truth, Elentok. Let us be on our way. We will tear their lives from the clutches of my insatiable cousins. She turns her face to you, and despite her tense expression, you see the corners of her mouth twitch. I find myself wondering if a single Farseer gazing at the hazy visions of things yet to come ever glimpsed a future where the key to their salvation stemmed from the duo of a monkey and an outcast. As for the webway gate and the Erebenian mentioned, for it to open before you and let you enter the webway, you would require help from one of our kind. Yrliet's brow furrows. I could try to open the gate, but to do that I would need a certain construct, a resonance device. The masters of this place must keep it close at hand. If you wish for me to use my knowledge and open a path out of Kamara for us, find this item. Without it, I am powerless to make the webway allow us entry into its labyrinths. Okay? Yrliet, what is the plan to find your kin? Farseers are not easy captives to keep. Whatever the Dark Ones are using to repress my kin's powers, those tools will be noticeable. I will find a way to them. Marjai, what should we expect to find inside the spire? Kabalites, witches, incubi, at Yomeris' side. He pauses for a moment, an expression of concern flashing across his pale features. That is all. Venture into the depths of the spire. The spire of the Reaving Tempest welcomes you with muffled noises, seeping from its dark walls distant voices, footsteps, and screams of pain. Okay. So that goes into the spire. Oh, nobody selected. I don't know if I want you, but I don't think I have a choice anymore. Okay. All right, well, our team might be a little bit weaker for him being on here, but we'll see. Maybe he's really good. I'm not going to give him any other gear in case he does betray us, but...
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The vast towers of Kamara spring up out of the darkness surrounding the spire at insane angles, violating all the laws of physics and perspective.
Keep a sharp eye.
Marajai lightly leaps from the edge of the platform into the raider and begins inspecting it from the inside. You hear clicking and hissing as the Drukhari opens and closes various hidden caches in the Skycraft's hull, accompanied by muttered Xenos cursing. After a minute, Marajai bolts upright and freezes, clearly wrestling with his own irritation. A moment later, he cranes his neck to look down into the abyss beneath his feet. Come here, Vernacular, take a look at this view. I do not trust you. His dark eyes narrow to slits. I do not need your trust, Vernacular. I am offering you a chance to learn something new. All right. Walk over to Marajai. The chasm yawns endlessly below, the cyclopean spires of Kamara piercing upward out of the gloom. The details of these vast structures are hidden by the hazy gloaming, The many lights on the Spire's terrace, which resemble marsh gas, are all that bring color to this bleak and awe-inspiring vista. The towering height takes your breath away, and you almost swoon, and then a gentle shove at your back make you lose your balance. The moments stretch into an eternity. Your firm footing is swept out from under you. Your heart stops beating entirely. The chasm below seems to rush up towards you, ready to swallow you whole. And then clawed fingers close around your wrist, halting your fall, but holding you suspended over the abyss. Marjai's laughter rings with dark delight when he finally tugs you back into the raider. You're a dick, bro. Terror. Unbridled, exquisite terror, far more bite to it than the stale, predictable pain of torture victims. That burn in your chest, that tang in your mouth, can you feel the blood roaring in your veins? Your heart battering out a march of triumph? Life becomes more vivid when death can come at any moment. I will continue to remind you of that. Without giving you a chance to respond, Marjai steps over the side of the raider and returns to the platform. The Tempest's Kabbalites have already picked the raider clean. That means that what I seek must be hidden somewhere in the Spire. I think it's in the torture chamber. Once inside, we must proceed through the first chambers directly ahead and turn left, then left again. Come, I intend to claim what is mine. What a jerk.
Always keep your eye on the price.
All right, let's get in there. Okay, someone's shooting at something.
I always keep my options open.
Where the devil is that coming from? It seems the sinister device can be disabled if one can get past it. Okay. It's like a trap.
If people could see what I see in you, they would fear your kind even more than they already do.
Talking to Marjai?
That is the folly of the monkey. You squeal like livestock from the pain inflicted by our blades, when you ought to tremble at the horrors hidden in the gaze of those such as you.
The sinister labyrinth looks like a death trap. It was probably created for just such a purpose. What happened? Oh, did we clear it? Oh, weird. I wouldn't have expected that to be an awareness check.
Is there money to be made?
A trivial task.
Okay, more traps this way.
I sense something nearby.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Not enough!
Rude. Okay.
Miscalculation.
Entertain me.
Okay, it's a Xenos check.
The songs of my
who's gonna have a
ancestors
better
speak of
Xenos?
stars long forgotten and worlds long gone.
Let's see,
What a
you've got an
shame that you
85,
lack the capacity to understand even a single note.
70. Okay, that did turn it off.
Took you long enough.
Oh, it's one of the Farseers.
What's a peculiar thing?
There we are. Okay.
Did you hope to see an Azoriani fail?
Keep your wits about you.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just get rid of those injuries. We don't really want to be getting too many of these. And we've got so many that, like...
The pain will subside. I must.
May as well.
Thank you.
Where's it at? Okay, so Farseer, Ketan, my son. The Eldari Farseer's tortured body is barely moving. You've seen abject creatures like this before, stitched together from several bodies. Their miserable existence serves but to satisfy their homunculus master's morbid interest in perversions of the flesh. And yet this one is not like the others. A twin face, stitched together from parts of several male and female Eldari, turns its unseeing gaze towards you. That is messed up. Its eyes have been crudely sewn shut. You come, my son. A woman's ghostly whisper escapes the cut-up lips, oozing blood and pus. Hold the line, don't let the corruption spread further. A commanding shout comes with a cough from inside the ripped-open throats, where 3 hearts are beating inside a single ribcage, as in a prison of bone. I finished the statue, Master. A fleeting, satisfied expression passes over the stitched face, as a suave young voice interrupts the warlike shouting. We are all united in the shadow of the great tree, sister, until Kalea Menshah Kakane claims our hearts. Your elucidator discerns yet another voice, soft and profound. O Isha, mother of all life, may your blessing protect the children of Asurion from the abominations of bodily and spiritual torture. The Eldari's hand twitches as she reaches for her weapon. Nothing of your kin is left in this creature. You can end their suffering, Juliet. That is not so. The accursed homunculus has merged not just the Farseers' bodies, but their souls as well. They are still inside in agony, torn to pieces by memories, their own and others. But I sense the shadow of she who thirsts creeping ever closer, to devour them and erase them from this world forever. I cannot let that happen.
My spirit!
Man, I hope we can get at least one person for her. If she ends up with all of these Farseers being too far
Rise
gone,
to the top.
oh,
Or get left
it's
in
gonna
the
get really
dust.
rough. That's not what I meant to do. Where's this loot? Oh, there's one. Research report. The thick stack of pages made of a strange material has been hastily tied with a coarse piece of string. The pages are covered in sharp, uneven handwriting and have brown stains on them. Goal: several-fold increase in veil energy. Note: enhancing the veil connection will require merging the minds of 4 specimens. 4 individuals, 2 male and 2 female, selected from among Crudarach Farseers. Aside from their veil connection, the specimens have no common traits. Merging process expected to be fascinatingly painful. Stage 1. Parts of 3 Eldari placed inside the thorax of the 4th. The most resilient among them, redundant original heart removed. Other internal organs preserved, specimens conscious throughout the surgeries. Stage 2. Despite the blockers, the partial brain transplants were accompanied by several energy discharges resulting in equipment damage. The potential is amazing. The integrated subject was punished by intramuscular injection of an acidic solution that erodes soft tissue from the inside. Stage 3. Subject stable and controllable, undergoing significant physical and psycho-emotional distress as the Eldari minds are becoming aware of the situation. The energy discharges increase every time the blockers are erased, or pain receptors are directly stimulated, confirming the expected result. In order to intensify the pain experience, the subject will be nourished by essences of its own torture. So this is like a really advanced way to like farm their pain for whatever energy it is that the Drukhari consume. Stage 4. The Eldari consciousness are trying to consume one another, perhaps in order to lower the net pain awareness. Curious, the subject must continue to be saturated with its autogenic agony, with added psychotranquilizer injections. Note, enhance the subject's physical suffering with internal bone tissue disintegration. After that, the notes become indecipherable. Why am I working with this guy? This is his home. Okay, Morag, what a strange feeling. Juliet clutches her head, and her eyes dart around the torture chamber. Clementia Kane, take my heart. Placed on a grim stone pedestal in front of you is an intricate game board, broadly similar to the one Regicide players use. Miniature figurines of Drukhari and Asuryani, skillfully fashioned out of onyx and wraithbone, are frozen in elegant poses opposite each other. Several of them are toppled, and for a moment you think you see fresh blood running from under the game pieces, down the small grooves carved into the board. I don't want to touch that. Whatever that is some form of advanced torture. I don't like it. I don't like it. Juliet, are you alright? She stares at the game board, stunned. It seems she never heard your question. Quiet, please stop. Stop torturing my mind. I will not let you become another spirit of the wind. Not for the light of a million stars. Just let me explain myself. Is she talking to them? Juliet, what's going on? I left Crudarach because that was my path. Is that not what you have been teaching us from birth until the final moments of our lives? I can hear it very well, the mournful lament of our brothers and sisters tortured to death in this room. I'd prefer not to hear it, but I cannot. As clearly as I hear the melody of your soul's torment, but don't you dare. There is no need to blame me for what happened to you. Juliet clenches her jaw and seems to stop breathing entirely. So she's obviously talking to some of her kinsfolk. In some way. Why would they blame her specifically for what happened to Crudarach? What role was she supposed to play that would have saved them? How important was she to her people? That's the question that I'm asking right now, that that whatever these voices she's hearing seem to be blaming her? Unless maybe it's just some kind of chaos thing where it's just messing with her mind? Look at me, Juliet. I am by your side. Everything is alright. Elentok? Juliet focuses her gaze and clasps the spirit stone on her chest. If you could only hear her pleas and her curses. My heart shatters into 1,000 pieces at the mere sight of this tormented soul. But her words lash my mind more painfully and more ruthlessly than the three-tailed whip torments its victim's flesh. The Dark Ones possess the cursed gift of inventiveness and torture, and subject their victims to the worst horrors a mortal mind can conceive of. In their torture, they go far beyond the limits of the possible and the permissible. Look closer. Those pieces and this board designed for games that intrigue the mind were fashioned from the flesh and blood of one of our Farseers. Her immortal soul remains forever connected to them. Why would the Drukhari imprison a Farseer's soul in a board game? Why does the wind blow and the rain fall? Why does starlight illuminate our path and darkness dismay us? It is their nature, for that is the way of the world. The Dark Ones feed on despair and suffering, while the Farseers are powerful beings of unbending will, whose souls, however, are brittle. Every move on this game board causes the Farseer nothing but pain. She feels everything, sees everything, and is aware of everything. She dies with each taken piece, and is resurrected at the end of a game. Juliet twists her mouth and averts her guilt-ridden gaze. What did she say to you? That I am a traitor and my path is paved with the bodies of my kin. That I am an outcast who carries the blame for the destruction of my home, since I heard the call of our dying ancestors but did not return in time, and that it should have been me in her place. The pain and suffering have damaged the Farseer's mind. You could not have saved Crudarach alone. But I could have protected my home and met my end alongside the others. Juliet's own words make her shudder as she stares at the flayed bodies of her brothers and sisters. Still, for as long as at least one child of Crudarach is alive, its memory will not vanish, and I am yet to reach the end of my path. The seed planted long ago is yet to grow and bring forth the flower of truth. I don't know if this is a good option, but maybe offering it is worth a shot. We can take the Farseer to the ship and save at least what is left of her. It is hard to say how much more suffering her soul has yet to endure before we leave this city. She may even be devoured by Silent Thresh on the way, as forms like these make our souls very brittle and defenseless. But if you think there is a chance she can be saved, I will not stand in the way. Okay. Shit, we can try. We might regret it, but we'll try.
My success was inevitable.
Very good, very good. Okay, that one can do an old injury, which might be useful considering we have a couple. Rate of fire of the wearer's weapon by +1 each time an enemy is killed. Perplex is inflicted on all other remaining in a 2-cell radius. We'll check that, but I think what we've got on our girl is actually better. Whenever the wearer attacks an enemy behind cover with a ranged attack, cover efficiency is decreased by -40% for that attack. -15 recoil. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we really like the one that you've got right now. Yeah, because we're kind of building you for, like, hitting those crits. So ballistic skill and 25% crit damage for when those crits are hitting is really, really good. Rate of fire would be nice. It might honestly be better, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Okay. Haemonculus's notes. Deliverance is the activation order code word. Excellent. 43. Sequential joint removal starting with the fingers. The process resulted in death as in every previous instance. The body will be reformed and regrown. 59. Internal organs excised and placed into an alkaline solution without severance from the nervous system. The subject is observing its dismemberment and experiencing the pain at its full intensity. The agony strengthens the connection to the veil, but the body is weak and inevitably perishes. 71. The subject's body disintegrates faster with each new assembly. Thermobox introduced into the torso for alternate cooling and heating with constant electrical stimulation. The subject survived for 4 minutes longer compared to the previous resurrection. 75. Physical torture discontinued. Audio-visual headband placed on the subject's head to broadcast images of its suffering kin into its consciousness. Cardiac arrest recorded 19 minutes later. 96. Subject in possession of all previous knowledge, including memories of pain and death, and therefore fully compliant. Phenomenal strengthening of the veil connection observed, but the body survives for no longer than 3 minutes under any set of conditions. A young Eldari's body is floating in murky glass vat filled with acrid acidic sludge. If the built-in xenocogitator's changing readings are anything to go by, the Eldari is alive, or at any rate not quite dead. This body belongs to a Farseer. I sense dormant energy coming from his exhausted mind. We must set him free, Elentok. Okay, let's inspect first. Another of the insane Haemonculus' creations designed for cruel experiments, the vat is part of a larger mechanism which has a small mechanical dashboard built into its casing. You are, however, unfamiliar with the symbols on it. The thick tubes that deliver the suspicious-looking liquid straight into the vitreous depths of the mechanism disappear into its inexplicably smooth casing. The glass itself seems quite brittle, though. Odd, these symbols are unfamiliar to me. I suppose the Haemonculus is using a special code so no overly curious assistant can hamper his experimentations. So we got that code word in that message, didn't we? Can I not back out? Like, we have a keyword, don't we? Yeah, pressing the buttons is just gonna torture this poor person. Do we just break it? There are no good options here. I don't know if this is gonna be permanent. Is it gonna let me come back and try something? You know what, let's just break it. Careful, watch your step. Can you hear me? Irliet helps the Farseer out of his prison, avoiding the broken glass. The Eldari is completely disoriented. His wandering gaze shifts between you and Irliet, then returns to the vat from which he just emerged. My purpose is to comply? Yes, I am born so I may die. My pain is your delight, master. Okay, Marag, what did that madman do to him? Okay. What did the keyword do? I can't even remember what it did. And I just read it. Do you remember who you are and where you come from? I remember the taste of pain, and the smell of pain, and the color of pain. You are one who dreams of what has come to pass, and what yet lies in the haze ahead. A Farseer from a craft world. What happened to Crudarach? He stares at his hands in surprise, ignoring Irliet's questions. Every finger in place, but why? The first one goes for the sake of pain and pleasure, the second one disappears when it is time for humility. The third, what happens to the third? Irliet's shoulders sink in defeat. Elentak, I do not think he is going to tell us anything of value. Is there no one left who can answer my questions? How did you end up in the Haemonculus' clutches? He looks up at you with frightened eyes. Be quiet, Master will come back. Master will punish. Piece by piece, piece by piece. Okay. Why were you kept in this vat? He looks around the room, ignoring you. I have been here many times in my past lives, and I will be in my future ones. An infinite cycle. She shrugs. Rebirth, healing, visions of the future. What is the point of eternal life if it only ever brings you suffering? Utter the Haemonculus' order deliverance. Is this gonna, like, kill him? The Farseer looks askance at you with apprehension, only for his face to turn completely impassive a moment later. Yes, master. The Farseer folds his hand in an unfamiliar gesture, screws up his eyes, and clenches his teeth tightly. Look out, Elentak. Oh, good. Yep, we killed him. Okay. That's what I get. That's what I get. Okay, it doesn't tell us what the code word did, so all right. Well, we did that. We're living with it. We're bad people. What can I say? Okay. Not our best chance.
I failed.
Yeah, figured.
I always have a backup plan.
Do I need to point it out for you?
Speak, Elentak. I have failed my kin.
I always keep my options open.
Oh, hi guys.
Your disgusting presence out of existence. Witless monkey.
Okay. All right.
A pitiful attempt.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I'll return this favor tenfold. You will pay dearly for your actions.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Okay, we'll defense this one up.
if I may? Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Okay, what does this do? For 1 round, all enemies in that area are forced to re-roll successful dodge and parry tests against all attacks. Any enemies that suffer damage, well, I'll put this on this one, but since they're not in the zone, it probably won't help all that much. Okay, let's put you there.
Rejoice in battle!
Good job. Crushing it.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
What were the hit chances on that? We must have just had it really bad on the spread there. Oh yeah, we did. we definitely did. That was just a poor choice on our part. Gotcha.
I'll tear your heart out for this.
Doubt is for the weak.
You know, I should take a look at these sometimes because a spread like this with the fire probably would have been pretty good against that group. That's okay. All right. Now what is this? Deals strength bonus rending damage to Marajai and he starts bleeding. While Marajai is bleeding, he gains plus 3 resolve. I can read, I promise, guys. Reckless Strike gains plus 25% armor penetration, 10 damage, and ignores 10 of the target's parry. So if you don't kill them, they attack back. Oh, I thought. Okay, clearly I don't know how it works, so may have just screwed myself on that one.
No.
Yes.
You will pay dearly for your actions.
Okay, what does this do again? Dashes in a straight line. Attacks of opportunity. 14% dodge. They can get cover if they don't dash through somebody. So it's a way to, like, get out of the way. So you want to pop Poised to Strike at the beginning of your turn, right? Because it only lasts until the end of your turn. So this is something you pop early and then go from there.
You will pay dearly for your actions.
Bloodthirsty Experiments. These guys are Farseers. I didn't realize that.
You will pay dearly for your actions. Give you a lot of pain.
Could have buffed her up first, but that's okay. Cool. Okay. We'll have to take the attack of opportunity. Darn you, kick.
I'll do it.
Return this favor tenfold.
Yeah, not bad.
return this favor
Okay, a
tenfold.
bunch of zeros, but at least we knocked him down. Free reload. We'll do Revel and Slaughter later, but what I'm
As
gonna
the
do
Emperor
now
commands, I act.
is move you a little bit and get one shot, hopefully
The
killing this
enemies
guy.
of the Emperor will be undone.
Oh, we still had one left.
I'll do it.
Who if not me? I'll see to it personally.
Inspire your Liet. Or that one's not Inspire. That's Heir of Authority.
On it.
For a flesh crafter.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Heal my wounds.
Nice. Rolled enough to get the kill.
In the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail!
Sorry, Mirajai.
Pitiful attempt.
Why are we doing 0 to you? Somebody let me know if something that I just overlooked there is what's causing that, or if that's just something weird happening. It might be an ability from somebody else too, but it should still show up on his thing if he was given an ability, so. Okay.
You've unleashed my fury.
Okay, this one will only get 2 shots, but that's okay.
I will tear your heart out for this.
That shit. I'm confused, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I thought I only had 1 AP left. Let's see. Okay. Spire your Liet. We'll be able to get 2 AP back from him if we mark him and kill him with this.
If it serves your cause. Another soul slips beyond the veil.
Get me a target.
For the throne's glory.
Naturally.
A pitiful attempt.
Okay. This creature can make 3 attacks per round and damage dealt to is reduced by minus 100%. Okay, so we can't really do anything to him for a whole turn here. Till his next turn, I guess? Alright, so what does the icon look like for that? It's the Unnatural Frenzy there. Can we see that here? No, that'd be too convenient. Alright, so do you have that as well then? You do. I mean, we can't really do anything. Let's see if like maybe these will do damage. It probably won't, right? But let's just... Oh, where did you... I didn't even notice that guy there.
Isn't this
Cool,
a
we'll
job
kill
for
him.
the serfs?
Didn't even know that guy was there.
If only that were possible.
Okay, he got up and he lost his frenzy.
Watch! What a useless plaything! Broken already?
Oh, looks like his is gone too. Not sure when he lost it, but we'll take it.
I'll make it happen.
Oh, that's a lot of damage in one hit.
Hear you moving.
Hell yeah.
No more.
Wait, Monkey. Extend a helping hand and I will show you the way home. Who will?
Too hard for a simple monkey.
Wait, did I just lose my chance? The strange capsule emits barely perceptible buzz, its thick walls barely containing the sound coming. That better not have been just a straight failure there. We can probably lower this somewhere else, right? The sounds of a living and tormented creature. There better be a way to lower that or I'm gonna be pissed. Oh, there's that resonance device. Okay, that's one of the things we needed. Wearer gains 5% parry reduction and dodge reduction to their melee area attacks for each creature targeted by that area attack.
Is there money to be made?
I mean, there's like control panels and stuff. Oh, here we go. Activate the mechanism. Let's do a quick save first. I don't know what or who is in there. Could open and something evil will try and kill me. Eklendyl? Despite his many bleeding wounds, the stately Eldari calmly straightens his shoulders and raises his narrow chin as he scrutinizes you with his keen gaze. Mysterious blue lights glimmer in his emerald green eyes. A monkey and an outcast have found their way into the heart of the Dark City to save what little remains. The universe is full of cruel surprises, but this is an outcome I managed to foresee. You have foreseen our meeting, but could not avoid being captured? What is the point of your prophecies, then? Yurliet glares daggers at her fellow Eldari, but he does not look away. He frowns. His face reflects guilt and grief, yet he says gently, I am glad our paths have crossed again, my child. It is a great relief for me to know you are alive, and a great joy to see how much firmer of spirit and mind you have grown over your years of exile. I think we have a lot to talk about. Make Eldari greeting gesture with your hands. You have got yourself a most amusing monkey to keep you company, Yurliet. How dare you talk about me right in front of my face like that? He understands our language and even knows a thing or two about customary greetings. Not that any of it makes him a worthy companion for you to have on your path. It is the Elentak who keeps me at his side. Were it not for him, my soul would have long left this body, or else I would have been devoured by a minion of She Who Thirsts, and I would never have learned the truth of what happened to Crudarach. How about we start with introductions? Of course, Elentak, one forgets one's good manners all too easily in the Dark City. Yurliet can barely contain her fury as she gestures towards her fellow Eldari. Standing before you is Eklendyl Ma'ursh, who walks the path of the Farseer. He is the all-seeing eye and timeless sentinel of Crudarach. He was, that is. Either way, a monkey's name is not the kind of thing he would be particularly interested in. In case you were expecting me to introduce you in turn, he will forget your name as serenely as one forgets a troubled dream in the morning. Elentak. Now that is a word I have not heard in years. The Farseer does not even look in your direction. There were other Farseers besides you in the Spire. Between the Haemonculus' tortures, I was able to glance inside my kin's desperate minds. I saw every soul that was extinguished in the Spire. I sang a lament for every brother and sister sacrificed by the Dark Ones. I carry their memory in my heart, and if I get out of here alive, their names will not be forgotten. Your senses fail you, Eklendyl. Many died, but not all. Yurliet turns around sharply and points to the game board, containing the Farseer soul. I was unable to save her, but you could have tried. The Eldari recoils as he looks at the bloodied game board. What is this? Explain yourself, monkey. What in all the gods' names made you decide to torture one of my sisters? Are you aware that a Farseer's soul is imprisoned in this object, and that your every touch causes unspeakable pain to her immortal soul? Can you help her? That's the important part, bro. I will release her soul from its suffering, but alas, giving her back her body is beyond my ability. I did what I could to save the Farseer's soul, but I could only do so much. The Eldari's expression is inscrutable, but he struggles to speak. You have set me free and I am grateful for the rescue, but what you are doing is wrong. I can free my sister's tortured soul if you let me, monkey. I am asking you for one more favor. Do it. Lay to rest the wretched soul imprisoned in this object. Yurliet blinks in surprise. In her eyes there is a faint and fleeting trace of softness and gratitude. Really? I must confess I have set little store by your species in the past. Perhaps in some regards I was wrong to do so. The Xenos nods in gratitude, finds a spirit stone on one of the Haemonculus' desks, and chants a few unfamiliar words, which your elucidator does not catch. Dark blood pours out of the game board in the Eldari's hands, and as soon as he finishes his chant, a warm glow suffuses the stone he is holding. It is done. You said you would help us find our way home? What did you mean? The countless hours I spent in the Haemonculus' cage were not all spent in the throes of agony. I listened, I observed, I absorbed, and I soon learned that an age-old gate built by our ancestors is hidden in the heart of the Spire. A webway gate connected to the world outside. I can unseal it and forge our path to salvation. I can help you make your way out of the Dark City and leave this place behind. But you must take me to the gate. My mind is still firm and my spirit is unbreakable. My body, on the other hand, will not soon forget pain's embrace. What is the point of your questions, Elentak? I can guide you to the gate myself, but not before Eklendyl Ma'ursh, who walks the path of the Farseer, the all-seeing eye and timeless sentinel of Crudarach, pours the light of truth into the bottomless well of my fear and doubt. Well, he's at your disposal then. I feared this moment would never come. She takes a deep breath and looks into the Farseer's eyes. Look at me, Eklendyl, and tell me what adversity befell our home. As a council member, you cannot possibly be unaware of the truth. And Eklendyl, do not even consider hiding anything from me. Sometimes ignorance truly is bliss, my child, but I cannot deny you your right to know the truth. He tosses back his head and his voice sounds like rolling thunder. When we found ourselves amid the stars of this stellar fabric, we encountered a monkey ship. A ship much too puny to take on an Asuriani world, or so we thought, until the council was struck with a vision of the horror to come. The ship would be our doom, not only for us on Crudarach, but for all Eldari kind among the nearby stars, and even for those whose paths stretch far beyond the stars. We could not allow such a thing to happen. When the ship approached, we pierced it with 100 salvos and then rejoiced, for among the wreckage the Rangers found no trace of the foreseen curse. Asurian, how wrong we were. The ships that returned from their reconnaissance to our starports were already carrying it on their wings. Whether it was a scratch from a passing wreck or the infected ashes of the monkey ship that the cosmic winds had not had time to disperse, the plague crept into our home and immediately began to eat away at the craft world's very flesh. In the Infinity Circuit, the souls of the ancestors battled the spreading pestilence ferociously, but the world was falling apart and there was no stopping it. Spires collapsed, rivers dried up, the ground itself sank, and all living things turned into a strange blend of organic matter and metal. We fought for our home until the very end, but when it became clear that Crudarach was beyond saving, the council decided to gather all who remained, board them on the surviving shuttles, and scatter across the galaxy to look for salvation, and that was what we did. We read about this. A plague that could eat metal. This was in the stuff that we got from our predecessor's notes. Oh man. Shit. I wonder if she had something to do with it. Who steered this infected vessel towards Crudarach?
I am afraid you already know the answer, Elentark. You just cannot accept it.
Yep.
Your predecessor, she who previously owned this vessel and your entire protectorate, the monkey who kept a piece of my homeworld in her study, like a trifle or trophy of no great significance.
So it was your accursed kind. Eklendyl's eyes light with golden radiance. We don't know the whole story. I might need to reread that document. Wait, Eklendyl. Shedding innocent blood will not bring our home back. The Elentark is guilty only of helping me to reach this place and free you. The blood of the execution of our people flows through the veins of the one you long to save. What has the monkey done to deserve your mercy? The golden sparks slowly die away, and the Farseer warily closes his eyes. So a disease broke out. You want to know how your kinspeople destroyed my world, so you can follow their example? Answer the question, Eklendyl, not for the monkey's amusement, but for the sake of those whose souls dissolved in infinity. At first we thought the monkey were in the service of the greatest enemy of our kind, the one who lurks beyond the edge of reality. But the world's affliction manifested itself different. It distorted Crudarach while avoiding encounters with the souls of our ancestors. We were waiting for Silent Thresh, the destroyer of souls, to burst her way in through the gaping wounds of the world. Yet her gaze was directed away from our suffering. No one ever managed to identify the nature of the curse even as we watched it destroy our home. And so, having lost all hope of saving it, we fled. So if you fled, how did you end up here? Our twisted cousins found our arcs in the Void's cold embrace. At first it seemed they were going to save us, to extend a helping hand, and so we told them what had happened to Crudarach and where to look for it. But our cousins' souls are dark and thirst for blood. My arc was one of the first they seized. So, do you remember that system that we went to as part of Yirliet's quest that had a whole bunch of, like, Drukhari enemy ships? And then we found the wreckage of at least one of the arcs? I wonder if some of the people taken from that are the ones that are here. The Drukhari massacred hundreds of thousands of their own kind for fleeting pleasure's sake, and enslaved the Farseers for their accursed experiments, and that monkey was how I ended up hanging in this cage. Is Crudarach completely destroyed? It's hard to believe. The Erebenian took care of what remained. Really? But that is none of your concern, Monkey. Yurliet is silent for a while and then says coldly, "But Eklendyl, how did Crudarach end up in the Expanse? This close to Monkey? And the Dark One's hunting grounds?" "That was the path chosen by the Council, my child. We had charted Crudarach's course among the stars for years, and no one had an inkling of the terrible fate that would await us in the place that promised us salvation." Okay, perception succeeded. No one knew. The Farseer looks away for a mere second, but an itching sensation immediately burrows its way into the base of your skull. Something is wrong here. He knew. Fuck. "The paths I have walked have taught me a great deal, to see the truth where it is concealed, and not to hesitate to cut off the head of a lying snake that tries to coil around my heart." Yurliet stares unblinkingly at her fellow Eldari, fury gleaming in her eyes. If the entire Farseer Council failed to foresee their world's doom, then everything the children of Assyrian have been taught about paths for centuries is a lie. You are hiding something, Eklendyl. Speak. Speak now. "How dare you take that tone with me, outcast? I am not obliged to justify myself before you, let alone protest my innocence." Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have pretty good chances across the board, I feel like, so we can probably just take our pick. You've already told us almost everything. Why hold anything back? The Farseer's emerald green eyes are filled with despair. "We had been steering Crudarach along a course prophesied by the stars themselves, until Shael's tumultuous currents cast us on the edge of the Great Wound. A storm was coming, threatening to sweep Crudarach away from its path, and so the Council decided on a route to safety, across the nearest islet of Hope, and into the place known among the Monkey as the Koronus Expanse. We stood by our decision, but there came a point where the prophecies became ever darker and more unsettling. Someone proposed altering the course, but the closing grip of raging Shael was blocking our path on all sides. It was then that the Council's opinion was split. My vote was the deciding one in that difficult debate, for I believe that the prophecy that had promised us salvation in the Expanse could not have been a lie." You already know what happened next. The Farseer closes his eyes and turns away, unwilling to meet Yurliet's gaze. She looks lost. "So we were doomed. I should have stayed on Crudarach. I could have tried to help those who survived the disaster. If only I had not chosen the accursed path and left the craft world, I could have at least tried to save some." You are not to blame for the demise of your world. Subverting fate is beyond your power. Her mouth twists in displeasure. The Farseers, it was not beyond their power. They led Crudarach to prosperity for years only to become too blind to what was going on around them. Had they not followed the prophecies the old customs required, had they changed course instead, Crudarach might still be whole. Ooh, that's rough. There is no bringing back the past, but you can try to change your people's future. Yurliet stays silent for a long time, peering into the face of the Farseer standing across from her. Calm and collected, he looks prepared to meet his fate. Finally, Yurliet replies, "We are both guilty and both deserve a fate much more terrible than death. However, it is too early for us to leave this world before we have atoned for our guilt. Come with me, Eklendyl. We have a lot to do before the Great Oblivion. We will find our brothers and sisters and protect them from those who seek to harm them. Perhaps we may even find a new home." Your words are like a healing melody flowing into my tormented soul. For the first time, a slight smile graces the Farseer's lips. "I accept your proposal, my child." Wow. Alright, so we finally got the story. Journal of Observations. The journal entries are written in an angular but surprisingly tidy hand, as if the writer deliberated meticulously over every word. The notes are supplemented by diagrams and formulae. The Farseer's mind is aggressively resisting external interference. The mind maggot perished instantly upon being introduced into the system, which has never been observed before. Interesting. That was me saying interesting. I wasn't even reading there. As punishment, the subject was placed in vibra shackles that chip away at limb bones. Unreadable diagrams. Mind maggot enhanced with a power implant. Subject placed in a red-hot metal capsule during the introduction of the parasite. Despite the pain in the parasite in its system, the subject succeeded in addressing the veil. Parasite destruction detected 2 minutes into its presence in the subject's body. Mind maggot enhanced with poison that suppresses the host's psychic functions, and placed successfully inside its victim. The parasite's vital functions persist, yet with no sign of compliance on the part of the host. Unacceptable. Subject perished by partial skin removal and suspension of the detached areas of skin. Experiment finish. Result negative. For as long as the subject remains capable of combating the mind maggot's presence, pain is the only available method of suppression. Subject to be placed in a capsule with slowly rotating blades until further instructions. Alright. And with that, I think we're going to end this episode. And yeah, looks like we got a little bit more loot to get. Some other places to visit, whatnot. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
I'd like to give a very special shout out to my patron supporters: Darren York, ZTD, Knife Namaste, Kyle the Monarch, Chris Murphy, JW, Quinless, Vlado101, Andy Ford, Bruce Wizzle, Black Mamba 90, Eureka Gecko, A Happy Fat Panda, Turkeyfoot 27, Pedo Kuto, Shadow Raven, Hannah Kate the Great, The Blue Electric Cat, Emily Kuzanoa, Philip Dougherty, and Nadia N. If you would also like to join this tier or any others, check out my memberships or my Patreon in the description down below.